Guys? Back with another video today. What I want to talk. Oh, actually, I should make sure that my mic. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm going to have some just old videos of mine replaying in the background while we talk about this. But we had a crazy set of events that, for some odd reason, took the internet by storm. I've seen a lot of reactions about the last Epoch news. I've seen some great reactions. I've seen a ton of ignorance. And so I want to actually address this with some intelligence. And the biggest thing that a lot of people aren't understanding about what happened with last the Epoch. So if you don't know, right? If you don't know, they've sold parts of their company multiple times now. And they came out and basically said, hey, we're going to give you the expansion for free. And but there's going to be like more microtransactions coming and possibly paid classes. Okay. And the internet lost their minds, right? Like even Dread, who's one of the most well-known last Epoch streamers and guide makers, etc. I've used a lot of his guides over the years. Great guy, great content. He's quitting the game over this and other reasons. But I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things that last Epoch has done that are really good, done that are really bad, that have obviously put them in this situation, and the truth of what choices they actually have. Okay. And here's the thing. What you have to remember is that, again, most of you already know this if you're watching this, hopefully, but when last Epoch started, it was a Kickstarter game, right? So basically they funded the game. It's a small studio. It was a bunch of guys hanging out, making a game. Turned into one of the better launches, right? It was a 5-year period. And then when they actually launched, it was one of the better launches that a game has had. And I've been playing this game since basically the general population could get into the pre-sale and beta testing of the game. I've played it. I played the iterations. I don't even know how old this video is. I don't remember what season this is from. I just grabbed a video off my YouTube. Okay. But the big thing is, you know, their claim to fame was, hey, we're going to have a relatively cheap game. It's $30, right? If you look at the AAAs in this category, they're obviously massive, right? That's the big thing. The biggest problem has been, they said they're only going to make money basically on microtransactions and seasonal packages, which is the pseudo Path of Exile model, right? And when I say pseudo, I mean Path of Exile 1 is free to play. However, if you actually want to play it at any sort of level of intelligence, you have to spend some money. That being said, I've spent a ton of money in Path of Exile on stash tabs, on microtransactions. Every season I buy one of the packages to support the game. Every PoE 2 season, I buy one of the packages to support the game. PoE 2, it's obviously, if you pay for it, you can play the beta, right? It's not out yet. When it comes out, it will be free. But for now, if you want to play it, you have to pay $30 or whatever it is, right? So basically, it's not a free game. It's a $30 game. Let's just be honest. Path of Exile 2, $30 game. They should just say, hey, Path of Exile 2 is going to cost $30. That's what they should do. And if you buy it now, you can play it early. That they should just come out and say it, because that's basically what they've done, right? I don't know any actual real ARPG players at this point that are waiting for the free version of Path of Exile 2. Okay, so let's just be honest. It's a $30 game. Okay, but that being said, these guys came out and said, hey, we're going to make a $30 game and all the content's going to be free. It's going to be a live service game, which, if you understand how business works, that is a very bold claim. Very bold claim. And the reason it's so bold is because how the fuck do you make money to pay people if it's a one-time transaction game? And when they launched, they were like, yeah, you know, our microtransaction store will be able to make money. I buy a seasonal pack every season to support EHG. I think they've done as good of a job as they could do given where they started. And when you think about it, you look at Blizzard North, right? You look at, well, whatever it's called now. I'm sure they've changed their name 700 times because North was probably it offended some fucking person who works for them with the people that they hire now. But basically, whatever the version of it's Blizzard that runs Diablo, they have a massive team. If you look at Path of Exile now, they have a massive team at GGG. Last Epoch was very, very small, is still smaller than the other two studios by far, And they put out a game that, in my opinion, is one of the most fun leveling and crafting experiences in the game to learn from nothing, even if you're a brain dead gamer dad like me. Okay. So I really appreciate Last Epoch. Last season with the dinosaurs, I thought was shit. I'll get into that in a minute. But basically, guys, here's what happened. They came out right out of the gate, launch, crush, right? Crush sales. They were top of the Steam charts, crushing. Everyone was rooting for EHG. Great, 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 great. Grand, wonderful, no yelling on the bus, right? I'm just restarting the video. So that was that. Then they had the next season, which was a little bit better, added some really good things, season 2, but it took them 5 months to put it out. And remember that when people aren't playing the season anymore and the microtransactions suck and it's basically the initial cost of the game, you're working for those next 5 months on basically $0 income, right? It's not a subscription model. Nobody's continuing to play the game besides maybe Dread, right? And Pinching Loaf were probably the two guys still playing and Aaron Action RPG, right? Fellow Aaron, what's up? He obviously was probably also playing the game. But outside of those three guys, no one gave a shit. 3 months after that, whenever the next ARPG season came out, everyone stopped playing Last Epoch. That's how the ARPG game cycle works. Is if you play ARPGs and that is your thing, okay, like me, you play the new season of the new game when it comes out. I play Torchlight, I play Diablo, sadly. I play Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2, and Last Epoch. Those are the 5 games that I'll play whenever a new season comes out. And I have new games, new content every other month, basically, right? Now, there's some times where it's every other week, it seems, and then there's nothing for 3 months, but different video. The point is, they went 5 months without anything. And then when they finally released their second season, they got bludgeoned with their release schedule, which everyone was like, oh, Path of Exile should move their shit. Fuck off. It took you 5 months to put out a season. Welcome to business. If it takes you that long and you have an up and coming game, see, here's how business works. And this is what you guys don't understand because you never fucking run one. Okay? If you're competing with somebody who's competing with you for the same dollar transaction, and you have the ability to crush them, you crush them. Blizzard used to know this. Ask me how I know. When I was playing World of Warcraft for a living, literally, when I was streaming and YouTubing back in 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere in there, I don't remember. Those years, somewhere in there. Understand that there was so many MMOs that were going to be the WoW killer, and magically on their release day or within a week or two of release, Blizzard magically had an event, or they had a new expansion, or they had something that came out that smokescreened the entire release of the game and just crushed them. Okay, why? Because they know that most people aren't going to subscribe to 2 things. Now, in the ARPG circuit, it's a little bit different. People will play multiple games. However, there are a lot of people who I would say are more casual than me, right? I play every game, every season. That's my hobby. Okay, so I get that. There's people who just want to sit down and mash for a couple of hours. They don't want to buy 5 different games. So that's the money, but that is probably a larger part of the pie. And this is what a lot of guys who watch YouTube videos or hardcore gamers, quote unquote, don't understand. Because you're a hardcore gamer, you've never actually run a fucking business that has employees that you have to pay and rent and servers and electricity and utilities and yada, 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 right? And so when you take 5 months off and then create a season and then you get smacked in the dick by the big boy on the block, what happened? They immediately sold a portion of the company to basically fund the company, right? So the problem was with that season, the microtransactions didn't get any better. Yes, they had their little seasonal thing, which I bought one of them, but it wasn't the good one because I didn't think it was that good. And that was your only income when the season launched. And their microtransaction store, still, if you go look up right now, I don't have it installed on this computer because I just got this computer. So I'll install it next season, whenever it comes out. But what happened was I went to the microtransaction store because I have all these points, right? Because when you buy the packages, you get points to spend. I still have almost every extra point that I've been given over all of my purchases because the microtransaction store that they have sucks. Okay? So if the only way you're going to make money sucks, you're not going to make money. Okay? If you're not releasing, like, if you're redoing the Paladin, like when they redid the Paladin where you're just doing the Hammer Slam and they don't come out with some dope ass Hammer microtransactions for that season, that is a company that does not have a clue how to make money. That's just what EHG is. They are a bunch of gamers who have no fucking clue how to make money. Okay? When Path of Exile, I would bet you this. When they redid the wands, I wonder how many microtransactions for Kinetic Blast, Frostbolt, any of the spells that people use for the Wanders with the new fixes, I will bet you, because I know I bought one. I ended up buying two because I didn't like the first one. It was more screen aids than the normal one, right? And so I bought them both because I had extra points just sitting there. Well, that's a transaction. You're using the points. These are things that end up making money because you run out of points. So when you want something else, you have to go buy more points. That's how microtransactions work. That's how you make money. Okay? These guys have nothing to spend their money on. Like, as players, I have nothing to spend my money on. I buy the packs to support the company, but I have nothing to spend the money on because they're financially illiterate, okay? Which is why they sold part of their company originally. Now, with the acquisition by another company, okay, and you can go look at the names, and I'm not going to get into all the drama with that bullshit. I don't care. The point is, this company did not buy EHG out of good faith and to support the team while they fumble fucked their way through a business, okay? Making a great game is one thing. Making a live service game that is successful and can feed your employees and give them opportunities and family and raises and positions and comfort is completely different. And they have not figured this out. So they sold to a company who, I guarantee you, this company sat down and went, okay, how does this game make money? Cool. Okay, we've got this big of a player base. We've got this spike in season 2, but it took 5 months. Season 3 was dog shit. Okay, but we haven't added any of the avenues to make money. So they're sitting there saying, here's this raw thing that we have a lot of really great game developers, a really great community, people who really like the game. It's got good publicity from streamers. Like, even most of the reviews from streamers were very based. There's only a couple that were ignorant as fuck and have no idea how a business works, okay? There was a few, but I'm not going to name names. But most of them were like, yeah, guys, what did you want them to do? Shut down? Because that was the other option. They could just, hey, guys, we can't afford to make Last Epoch anymore. And then they just go away. And you know what? People will be really sad. And they'll be like, oh man, it was such a good game. And they'll comment or they'll make a Reddit post about how great it was. And then 2 days later, no one fucking cares about EHG anymore. Okay? I've seen this happen countless times. Okay? I'm a small business owner who's been in business for over 9 years in multiple locations across multiple industries. I know how this works. You see restaurants do it all the time. Saturday's going to be our last day as a restaurant. We hope you come see us. You know what happens? All the comments are like, oh, we love you guys. We don't want to see you go. And then they come out, well, 10% of them come out to eat dinner one last time, right? They sell all the shit. The business closes. Next weekend, they're eating somewhere else and they don't give a fuck. It might come up one time in conversation over the next 3 years. Of, oh, yeah, that place was really good. That's it. You meant nothing. If you quit, you mean nothing. If you give up, if you lose, you mean nothing. That's how business works. If you don't like that, welcome to fucking reality, you soft fuck. I don't know what else to tell you. That's just the truth, okay? So the point is, they sold the company, and if I was buying it, I would be sitting there going, wait, they've got all these players, all these purchases, all these people can come back and play the game. They promised that they weren't going to charge for expansions, which they're still not doing, which is fucking insane to me. They've built enough. If Blizzard can sell a second expansion for Diablo 4 and there's idiots, I will let Blizzard spit on it and put it back in, okay? I can't stand Diablo 4. I think their entire team is horseshit. I think the way that they handle the game is absolutely pathetic. I'll still play it. They have eroded all of my trust. I actually expect nothing from them. And if they do a good job, I go, I am pleasantly surprised. And I loved Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls when it came out. I played it all the way through, but I loved Reaper of Souls when it came out. Okay. Like I played 10, 12 seasons before I had to, not play video games for a while. But the point is, even a company like that has zero community trust, like they're the biggest meme in the ARPG space. They went from the goats to the meme in the space, and they're still going to sell millions and millions and millions of copies of their new expansion. Why? Because they're going to put a paladin in it and add fucking what? 3 combo points to the tree? Congratulations. Last Epoch's system with blessings, with skills, and every skill has its own tree, with crafting, with gamba. Like, they have such a good base game. Like, they have the best pylons of any game. It can do other skills. It can drop lizards. It can drop a pile of loot. Like, it can give you buffs. It's a different experience every time you play. It is a very good game on the base. So if I'm buying this company, I sit down and I go, okay, I'm going to buy this company. What does it do well? It's got a great player base. The community loves it. For the most part, yeah, there's people who don't. But like if you look at the retention, the player base, like we got a lot of purchases. So if we can get 10% of the purchases to come back and try it, and we can actually get like a good season out, we got to hire more people to develop more content because season 3 was shit, right? But if we can throw a bunch of content and some great micros, we can probably quadruple what this company made last year in one season because they aren't doing anything to monetize the game. And while some of you may hate that, that's what companies do. That's what they have to do as a live service game who does not charge subscription base. So you guys can cry and bitch all you fucking want. But the truth is, you have 2 choices. You can subscribe or you can do microtransactions up the ass to make enough money to be profitable as a fucking company. And here's the thing that you guys don't understand. People don't pay their bills with rainbows, unicorns, fairness, and happiness. They pay their bills with cold hard fucking cash. Go tell your team, hey guys, I want to pay you in feel good and morality this quarter. Is that okay? We're not going to have any cash. They're all going to quit. So you guys talk about how money shouldn't be the thing, but then when you work somewhere, money's the fucking thing. How do I know this? Because I fucking have 30 plus fucking employees, okay? I know how this works. My team expects me to put my companies in a position to be profitable so that they can have raises, bonuses, time off, time with their family, opportunity and a comfortable living. That's what they expect from me. That is my job as the business owner, is to provide that. How do I provide that? We provide a service that people exchange cash for. That's a fucking business. So if you guys think that they're going to do a live service game and never charge for it, that company will not be in business for long at all. That's the fucking truth. Okay? That's how it actually works in real life. I know because that's what I do. Okay? So, what you guys have to understand is I think the company that bought EHG is going to 3 to 6x their investment if they do it mediocre. I think they could 10 to 40x their investment if they do it right and milk it. I think they could do a pump and dump where they pump it up, do a crazy monetization technique, and then in a year and a half, they erode everything. But the people outside who don't know that just see the bottom line and buy it, and then they scapegoat them and pull the rug out. That could be another option. I've seen companies do that too. I don't think EHG would allow that, but they don't own the fucking company anymore, so it doesn't matter. So what you guys have to understand is that you can be pissed, but here was Judd's other choice. Okay, and here's what that company who bought him, before they bought him, here was the other choice. You can fire and tell every single person who's worked for you and worked their ass off for however long you've been in business and who spent weekends and nights and blood, sweat, and tears for this game and made a really good base game. We can tell them to fuck off, go home, and we're shutting it down. Or we can charge more money. And with more money, if it works and we do a good job and we continue to over deliver, we will get more money back. And if we get more money back, we can give more money to you. That's how business works. We can hire more people. We can stimulate the economy. We can give raises. We can give promotions. We can do company parties. We can do give backs. We can do charity events. We can do streamer things. That's what you do with the cash to grow the machine. Okay? It's not like there's one asshole at the top who just says, oh, guys, we made $10 million this quarter. I'm going to take all of it and fuck you. That never happens in real life. It never happens in any business that's trying to grow, especially one started like this. Grassroots, dudes in their garage. These are good fucking dudes. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. These guys just had zero business sense. They were gamers, bro. They were gamers. That's who these guys were. They just didn't have anyone in their corner who was a business person. Because if they would have came to me and said, hey, Aaron, we're going to do this game, I would have been all in. I would have been like, yeah, dude, I'll consult. I'll help you. The first thing I would have said is, how are we fucking making money? Well, we're not about money. That's wonderful to say. That's cute. Do you like paying your bills? Well, yeah. Do you want more money so that you can buy more shit and have a better life for you and your family? Well, yeah. What are you going to pay for that with? Smiles and hugs? Oh, money. Okay. How are you going to get money if we do not make money? This is how real life works. And I would have sat them down and said, okay, after they launched, I would have said, what is our schedule of release for microtransactions? What are the big skills coming out? What are the new classes? We need to have armor sets. We need to have weapon skins. We need to have skill skins. We need to have mounts. We need to have achievements. We need to have all this shit when we launch the season, because that is when people are hot to buy, when they're using the fucking service. Oh, okay. So we're going to take 3 people and put them on that. That's all they're going to do, is they're going to bring us every week. They're going to bring us 4 to 5 pieces until we get it fucking how we want it. And then that way, by the time we launch, we have a fucking monster of a microtransaction so that people can spend their in-game points, buy more, get all the shit, and give us more money. And then you know what we're going to do with that money? We can hire more developers so that we can put out seasons faster and not get our face stomped in when GGG decides to launch their shit, because they're not moving for anybody. And they shouldn't. They're the big swinging dick. Okay? The big swinging dick does not ask questions. He just swings the big dick. Okay? Everybody else watches out or takes it to the face. GGG or EHG decided to take it to the face. And they got fucked because of it, right? Like, they tried to go up against Goliath, and 9 times out of the reason that the story of David and Goliath is crazy, because the little guy beat the giant with a rock, is because 99 times out of 100, Goliath stomps his fucking face in. Okay? The reason that we are inspired by the story of David versus Goliath is because of the fact that it's the one time the underdog won. The reason it's called an underdog is because the majority of the time, the favorite wins. That's why it's the favorite. That's why the odds are in their favor. Okay? That's how it works in real life. Now, occasionally, sucker punches happen. In the most part, that's not what happens, and EHG found it out the hard way. So this was their only choice. And it's mind-blowing to me how many people are talking about them like they're greedy, like they're sellouts, like this. These guys made a mistake. At the bottom end of the line, they made a fucking mistake. That's what they did. They fucked up, and they didn't have a business plan. They had a game plan, not a business plan. And in order to do a live service game, you have to have both. Okay? I will support them. They have 2 more seasons before the expansion comes out. I will buy packs for both of them. I want every single person on ESG's team to know you did the right thing. You fucked up, but you did what you had to do to keep the company to going and surviving. And I, for one, will applaud you, assuming that your game doesn't suck balls. Okay? If you put out another season 3 just shit fest, I'll probably play it for a week. I'll still buy your shit for that season, but the next season, I'm going to be skeptical. Okay? I need you to deliver. Take the money you got from the Chinese companies or Korean companies or whatever, I don't know, the Asian buyouts. Take the money and show us that you're going to use it properly to produce a better game. And I don't care how much you take me for. Okay. I don't care. I will happily support you because I know that the truth is you're trying your ass off. You are amazing development team. You're doing great work. You are just undermanned, understaffed, and underperforming from a business standpoint. So fix the problems, move forward, continue being a great company. That's what you need to do. Do not let any of these comments deter you. Do not let any of these idiots on Reddit or any of these other places. I don't ever go there, but that's what I watch the other videos saying. Don't let any of these morons in the comments who think, oh, they're so blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck them. They ain't in your shoes. They ain't never built shit. They have no experience to stand on. You wouldn't ask some if let's put it this way. When I have a question in business, I ask people who do more business than me, not less. I don't ever go to Facebook and say, hey guys, I have a question about my business. And then I read the comments from a bunch of fucking idiots who've never owned a business and take that as advice. Okay? Don't make that mistake either. Talk to people who have done it. I know you guys are friends with GGG. I know you guys are probably have friends in Blizzards and all the other companies. There's no reason that you can't have a meeting and talk to them. And even if you have to pay for the meeting and say, hey, what works, what doesn't? Talk to the CEOs who bought you out. Hey, in your experience, what works, what doesn't? What aligns with our business and our motto and what we've built so far that we can use to implement that doesn't completely gut our core values, but also gets us in a position to where we can continue to do this and be profitable doing it. That's what you need to figure out. What my suggestion would be is your microtransaction store sucks ass. You should be ripping out transactions. You should be, anything you're releasing that's new, you should have 10 to 20 transactions for that thing that people can just mill. Okay? Torchlight Infinite, I played last season, or the season before last was my first season. Didn't spend a lot of money because I didn't like the gacha thing. This season, because I already knew I loved the game, I bought the new character, I bought some skins, I bought some pets, I spent some money. I spent the same amount of money I would spend on a fucking pack for PoE 2 or PoE 1, which I do every season because I love the games and I want them to continue to be made. You want people like me to buy your shit. That's what you want. If you are worried about the guy in Reddit who doesn't have $10, he shouldn't be playing video games that much anyway. He should be working and making a fucking living. Okay? Video games are supposed to be a hobby. They're supposed to be for enjoyment. They're supposed to be, some people, it's their livelihood. But there's a lot of just degens who just waste their life doing this. Ask me how I know. I used to be one. Okay? Those people who complain are going to complain regardless of what you do. They are not your target market. They're never going to be the big spenders. They're never going to be the ones that are supporting your company long term in an amount of money that makes a difference to you. They are the 80%. You want to focus on the 20% of your marketplace that brings you the most amount of money and what those people are doing and all of that. That's what you want to be doing. Have a great day. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Even though on this one, I'm not going to fucking read them unless you agree with me. Then I love you. If not, don't care. You don't have the experience I do, so shut up.